Hi there and welcome to Mr. T's Maths. In this video I'll be showing you how to multiply fractions using the cancelling out method. So sometimes it's more convenient to cancel out fractions before you actually perform the multiplication. If we look at this case, if we were to multiply these two fractions, we would end up with a very large fraction such as 63 over 336. Okay, which later on would have to be simplified anyway. So to avoid all this extra work, we can cancel out beforehand. To do so, we have to find a numerator and a denominator that have common factors. In this case, 9 and 12 are both divisible by 3. So I can cross out 9 and divide it by 3, which leaves me with 3, and then 12 and divide it by 3, which leaves me with 4. Now I can group 7 and 28 because both of them are divisible by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and then 28 divided by 7 is 4. So this is the same as multiplying 3 over 4 times 1 over 4. Which actually is 3 over 16. And this is already in the simplest form, you see, and we are dealing with much smaller numbers. Now for those of you who are interested in, okay, but why are we able to cancel out these fractions? Why are we able to group the 9 and the 12 together and the 7 and 28 together? Well, I'd like to show you the reason why, yeah, to gain a deeper understanding. Now, if you think of this multiplication, yeah, this can be written as 9 times 7 over 28 times 12 as one fraction, right? Now, if you remember, multiplication is commutative. That means 9 times 7 or 7 times 9, it's exactly the same thing. So I can rewrite this as 7 times 9 over 28 times 12, which is the same as, and now I'm going to split it in two fractions. So going back to this format here. So this is the same as 7 over 28 times 9 over 12, okay? And 7 over 28, you'll agree with me that can be simplified by 7. So it's 1 over 4 times, and 9 over 12 can be simplified by 3, so it's 3 over 4, and the answer is 3 over 16. So this is an explanation to why, yeah, we can rearrange the numbers to actually cancel out and end up with a simpler example. You don't have to do all this long working out. You can just cancel out by putting a line through the numbers. Yeah, grouping a numerator and a denominator is very important. Always numerator and denominator. Okay, and okay, let's move on to some examples. Here I have some examples for you. Please feel free to pause the video first and try them yourselves, and then you can just double check your answers. Yeah. So over here 5 and 15 can be grouped together. Both numbers are divisible by 5. So if I divide 5 by 5, I end up with 1. Yeah. And then 15 by 5, we end up with 3. 1. Then 6 and 14 are divisible by 2. So we end up with 3 and 7. Now, as you can notice in this case, 3 and 3 3 and 3 are both, we can simplify that further, but I'm just gonna write this step so you don't get confused. 1/7 times 3, which you know that's already 1, no? 1 and 1, so the answer is 1/7. Okay, next one. 9 and 3 can be grouped together. Both numbers are divisible by 3, so we end up with 3 and 1. And then 10 and 2 are divisible by 2, so we end up with 1 and 5. So here the answer is 3/5 times 1/1, which is just 3/5. Yeah. Now over here we have a negative number times a positive number, so you'll have to think first, what answer will you get by multiplying a negative by a positive? And the answer is yes, a negative. Yeah. Now that you've dealt with the sign, focus on the numbers. Let's group a numerator and a denominator. That cancels out. Well, 7 and 7 are both divisible by 7, so that's a 1 and 1. And then 3 and 12 divisible by 3, so 1 and 4. Yeah, so the answer is minus 1. 1 times 1 is 1 over 1 times 4 is 4. And there you go. Okay, 4 more examples. 2/3 times 7/8. 2 and 8 cancel out by 2, so 1 and 4. 7 and 3 are both prime numbers, so we end up with 1/3 times 7/4, which is 7/12. Now next one, 4 and 9. Okay, 4 and 9, no. 2 and 9, okay, no cancelling out here, so we're just going to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, so this is just left as it is. Now minus, we have a negative number, again an example where we have a negative number times a positive number, so the answer will be negative. Yeah, as we can see, 6 and 2 can be simplified by 2, so it's 1 and 3. Okay, now be careful, 3 and 9 cannot be simplified because they are both in the denominator. We have to always group a numerator and a denominator, okay, because the operation between the numerator and the denominator is division. So that's why that's what allows us to cancel out. Yeah, so this is just 5/3 times 9, which is 27. Okay, now here 5 and 10, 1 and 2, and 6 and 9 by 3. So the common factor is 3. We divide both numbers by 3. We end up with 2 and 3. So 3 times 1 is 3 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so yeah, the other reason why we can actually cancel these out, it's because of bit mass. Yeah, if you think of bit mass, okay, brackets, it's on the first place, indices on the second place, and then we have division and multiplication on the third place. So when we multiply two fractions together, that's basically what allows us to cancel numerator and denominator first. Okay, because it's as if we are doing the division before the multiplication, which in this case it works out. Okay, well, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Okay, take care.